Stop scrolling. No, seriously, stop. Because I'm about to save you from losing $30,000. Right now, 5 major car brands are literally months away from total collapse. And I'm not talking about some obscure companies you've never heard of. I'm talking about Nissan, Chrysler, Jaguar, brands your parents drove, brands with commercials during the Super Bowl, brands that have dealerships in every city. And here's the part that'll blow your mind. They're all still selling cars like nothing's wrong. Smiling salespeople, 0% financing deals, great time to buy, promotions. But behind those showroom doors, financial statements that would make you physically ill, mass layoffs, factories shutting down, models getting axed with zero warning. And the people getting absolutely destroyed? Regular folks who just wanted a reliable car and trusted the wrong brand. So here's what's happening today. I spent the last month reading bankruptcy filings, talking to dealer insiders, and pulling the latest financial data. And what I discovered genuinely shocked me. 5 brands, billions in losses, millions of car owners about to get completely screwed. Stay till the end because the #1 brand on this list sold 842,000 cars last year and has 8 months before they potentially go bankrupt. Yeah, let that sink in. Let's go. Before we dive in, quick question. Have you ever bought a car and regretted it later? Drop a comment right now, because what I'm about to expose is that regret times 1,000. All right, let's start with number 5. Mitsubishi, the zombie brand that won't die. Mitsubishi is basically automotive weekend at Bernie's right now. They look alive. Dealerships are technically open, cars are for sale. But the brand, dead. It just hasn't figured it out yet. Let me paint the picture. In 2002, peak Mitsubishi, they sold 345,000 cars in the US. They had the Lancer Evolution, the Rally Legend, the Montero Off-Road Beast, the Eclipse sports coupe that was in every Fast and Furious movie. Mitsubishi was cool, affordable performance, Japanese reliability, the scrappy underdog. Fast forward to 2025. Sales, 94,754 units. That's a 77% collapse in 23 years. Their lineup today? Tragic. The Eclipse, that sick sports coupe, is now a compact crossover. They took one of the most iconic nameplates in automotive history and slapped it on a generic SUV. That's like Porsche turning the 911 into a minivan. Criminal. The Mirage, their cheapest car, discontinued after 2024. What's left? Forgettable crossovers that lose every comparison test to Honda, Toyota, and Mazda. But here's the real problem with Mitsubishi. Nobody trusts them anymore. In 2000, they got caught deliberately covering up serious mechanical defects for years. Customer deaths, safety issues, cover-ups. Public trust evaporated overnight. Then, in 2016, because apparently they didn't learn, they got busted falsifying fuel economy data on over 625,000 vehicles. Police raided offices, executives arrested, lawsuits everywhere. Their stock value got cut in half in weeks. The collapse was so catastrophic that Nissan, who we'll get to later, had to buy a 34% stake just to keep Mitsubishi's lights on. And even Nissan reduced their stake to 24% recently because they're drowning themselves. And now, with 2026 tariffs hitting imports hard, Mitsubishi had to jack up prices on cars that were supposed to be the budget option. Their entire value proposition just vanished. Who's buying a Mitsubishi Outlander in 2026 when a Honda CR-V costs the same, drives better, and actually holds resale value? Nobody. That's who. The lesson? You can survive making bad cars. You cannot survive deliberately lying to customers. Twice. Trust is everything, and Mitsubishi destroyed theirs permanently. Number 4. Infiniti, the brand that forgot its own soul. Infiniti in the 2000s was genuinely special. They weren't trying to be Lexus with boring luxury. They weren't trying to be BMW expensive. They were the driver's car with Japanese reliability. The G35 sedan, instant classic. The FX SUV, ahead of its time. Powerful V6 and V8 engines, sharp handling, aggressive styling. Infiniti had personality. They had an identity. They had a loyal fan base. And then, they just forgot who they were. In 2017, Infiniti sold 153,415 vehicles in the US peak performance. 2024, just 58,070 units. That's a 62% collapse in 7 years. And 2025 was even worse, down another 10%. Their response? Shut down standalone luxury showrooms and retreat into Nissan dealerships. So now you're shopping for a luxury car in the same building where someone's buying a $24,000 Sentra. The vibes are completely off, and the lineup absolutely decimated. The Q50 sedan, the spiritual successor to the legendary G35, discontinued after 2023. The QX50 and QX55 crossovers? Production ended December 2025. What's left in February 2026? Two SUVs, the QX60 and the QX80. That's it. That's the entire brand. Two vehicles. Here's what happened. Around 2010, Infiniti saw competitors making bank on generic luxury crossovers and thought, we should do that too. So they abandoned their performance identity, stopped making engaging sedans, stopped focusing on drivers, started chasing trends. The result? They lost their core enthusiast customers and failed to attract new ones. They became nothing in particular, no differentiation, no compelling reason to choose Infiniti over Lexus, Acura, Genesis, or the Germans. And the reliability problems didn't help. CVT transmission nightmares, engine failures, airbag recalls, brake caliper defects. All the classic Nissan problems leaked into their luxury brand. Infiniti keeps talking about upcoming EVs and future models, but there's no timeline, no concrete plans, no real investment. The lesson here? When you abandon what made you special to chase every market trend, you stand for nothing. Infiniti lost their soul trying to be everything to everyone, and now they're irrelevant. Number 3. Chrysler, the American icon being executed. This one legitimately hurts because Chrysler is American automotive history. They invented the minivan. They built the legendary Hemi 5.8. For generations, Chrysler represented practical innovation, comfortable family vehicles that didn't break the bank. Chrysler wasn't just a car brand, it was part of American culture. In 2005, Chrysler sold 640,000 vehicles in the United States. Peak era. 2024? Under 125,000 units. That's an 80% collapse from their peak. And 2025? Even worse. Q2 sales plummeted 42% because of tariffs. Here's what happened. Stellantis, Chrysler's parent company, basically gave up on them. The Chrysler 300, the last car that actually felt like a real Chrysler, was discontinued in 2023. An iconic nameplate with decades of history. Gone. No replacement. The Voyager? Mostly sold to rental car fleets. It recently came back for consumers, but nobody cares. The Pacifica minivan is literally the only real consumer model keeping this brand alive. And the Pacifica is getting absolutely crushed by competitors. The Honda Odyssey has better reliability. The Kia Carnival offers more features and tech. The Toyota Sienna has hybrid efficiency. Pacifica sales dropped 11% in 2024 and continued falling in 2025. Chrysler tried to build an electric comeback vehicle called the Airflow EV. Looked promising, modern design, tech-forward. Stellantis canceled the project mid-development in 2024. Their reason? Too expensive and already outdated before launch. Translation: they're not investing in Chrysler anymore. At all. And then came the warning shot that nobody wants to talk about. Carlos Tavares, the former Stellantis CEO, publicly stated in 2024 that several brands under the Stellantis umbrella could be eliminated by the end of 2026. He didn't name names, but every single industry analyst agrees. Chrysler is on the chopping block. Here's the nightmare scenario for current Chrysler owners. If Chrysler gets shut down in the next 6 to 10 months, you're stuck with a car from a dead brand. Parts availability becomes questionable. Technical support vanishes. Warranty claims get complicated. Resale value craters to basically zero. You're making payments on a vehicle that might have no manufacturer backing by 2027. The lesson? Managed decline is still decline. Stellantis clearly decided Chrysler wasn't worth real investment, but they're keeping it on zombie life support to squeeze out whatever value remains. This isn't a turnaround strategy. It's a controlled demolition, and customers are the ones paying the price. Number 2. Jaguar. The rebrand that murdered a legacy. Oh my god, Jaguar. This one genuinely makes me angry because Jaguar used to represent something special. British elegance, timeless design, the gentleman's sports car, the vehicle you bought when you actually made it. For over 100 years, Jaguar stood for understated luxury and driving passion. And then in 2024, they decided to commit corporate suicide on live television. Let me show you the numbers first. In 2022, Jaguar sold 61,661 vehicles globally. By 2024, that dropped to 33,320. Already bad. But then 2025 happened. In April 2025, Jaguar sold 49 cars in Europe. 49. The previous year, 1,961 cars. That's a 97.5% collapse in 1 year. Sales dropped so catastrophically that market analysts stopped tracking them separately. Jaguar became statistically irrelevant. But here's where it gets absolutely wild: the rebrand. You saw it, November 2024. Jaguar ditched the iconic leaping cat logo, over a century of heritage, and replaced it with lowercase minimalist letters that look like a vegan protein powder startup. Then they released a commercial. No cars, zero vehicles, just models in neon outfits walking around with slogans like "Copy nothing," "Create exuberant," and "Live vivid." The internet destroyed them. Did Jaguar get hacked? RIP Jaguar, 1922 to 2024. Congrats on the worst rebrand in history. The backlash was so brutal that Jaguar's marketing agency, Accenture Song, got fired in May 2025. Multiple executives stepped down. Dealerships started closing worldwide. And here's their master plan. Stop selling cars entirely through 2025 and most of 2026. Then come back in late 2026 with ultra-luxury electric vehicles starting at $140,000. So they're betting the entire company, 100-plus years of brand history, on cars that don't exist yet, in a luxury EV segment already dominated by Porsche Taycan, Mercedes EQS, BMW i7, and Tesla Model S Plaid. Plus, and this is crucial, Jaguars have always had terrible reliability. RepairPal ranks them 29th out of 32 brands. Repair costs are astronomical. So even if these magical EVs launch, who's dropping $140,000 plus on an electric car from a brand with zero credibility, no recent track record, and terrible reliability history? The lesson? You cannot throw away a century of brand equity chasing whatever's trendy. Jaguar confused modernization with complete identity destruction. They forgot who they were, alienated their core customers, and attracted nobody new. This is how legacy brands die, not from being outdated, but from abandoning everything that made them special. Number 1. Nissan. The $4.5 billion disaster hiding in plain sight. All right, here we go. Number 1. Nissan. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, Nissan? They're everywhere. My neighbor drives a Rogue. They sold like 850,000 cars last year? Exactly. That's what makes this the most insane story on this entire list. Nissan sold 842,000 vehicles in the United States in 2025. They're the 9th best-selling brand in America. Massive presence, dealerships everywhere. But here's the truth that nobody's talking about. Nissan is 8 to 10 months away from potential bankruptcy. Let me show you the financial carnage. 2024 financial report. Net loss, $4.5 billion. Operating profit, down 90% year over year. Global sales collapsed from 5.8 million units, 2017, to 3.1 million, 2025. That's a 47% global sales collapse in 8 years. Their response? Laid off 20,000 employees globally, shut down multiple manufacturing plants, slashed production capacity by 20%, canceled future vehicle development. The Maxima flagship sedan? Discontinued in 2023 as sales evaporated. The Altima, one of America's best-selling sedans for decades? Being phased out. Their entire EV strategy? Canceled the area for the US market. Killed 2 upcoming electric projects. They're surrendering the future without a fight. But here's the absolutely wild part that should terrify anyone considering a Nissan. Industry insiders and financial analysts say Nissan has 8 to 10 months of cash runway left before they need a major investor, merger partner, or bailout. Less than a year. One of the world's largest automakers has less than 12 months before potential insolvency. So how did a global powerhouse reach this point? 2018, CEO Carlos Ghosn arrested in Japan for financial misconduct, hiding millions in compensation, using company jets for personal vacations, smuggling company funds. The scandal destroyed leadership credibility and fractured Nissan's alliance with Renault. 2019 to 2023, multiple emissions cheating scandals across global markets, falsified fuel economy data, regulatory investigations, massive fines, public trust shattered. 2024, Nissan attempted a desperation merger with Honda. They were willing to do anything to survive. Honda's response? Only if we get complete operational control. Translation: Honda saw Nissan as a sinking ship worth acquiring only if they could strip it for parts and kill the brand. Talks collapsed. Nissan was humiliated publicly. February 2026. Nissan is frantically searching for capital, reaching out to every possible investor, and nobody's seriously biting. Here's what this means if you're a Nissan owner or considering buying one. If Nissan collapses or gets absorbed by another company, resale values will crater overnight, probably 30 to 40% drop. Parts availability becomes questionable. Warranty support gets complicated. Service networks shrink dramatically. Your reliable Japanese car becomes an orphaned vehicle. And if you're making payments on a 2024 to 2026 Nissan, you could be underwater on a loan for a car from a bankrupt manufacturer. The lesson here is absolutely brutal. Size doesn't guarantee survival. Legacy means nothing. Historical success means nothing. In modern business, you cannot fail your way to success. Recovery windows are shorter than ever. Second chances are rare, and the automotive industry is showing zero mercy to brands that can't execute. Okay, let's step back for a second. These aren't just business case studies we analyze from a distance for entertainment. These are real people's lives getting destroyed. A single dad who saved for 2 years to buy his first new car, a Nissan Pathfinder. Now it's worth half what he paid, and the company might not exist in 9 months. A retired couple who bought a Chrysler Pacifica thinking it was a safe American brand. Now, Stellantis is probably shutting down Chrysler by December 2026, and their vehicle's resale value is tanking. A young professional who leased an Infiniti QX50 because it looked nice. The model was discontinued, the brand is dying, and their lease value is underwater. This is why I made this video. Not for clicks, not for views, not for ad revenue, for you. Because if you're about to walk into a dealership and buy one of these brands, you deserve to know the truth. A car isn't just a purchase. It's a 5 to 7 year relationship with a company that better actually exist in 5 to 7 years. And right now, these 5 brands are showing every warning sign of collapse. Catastrophic sales declines, financial losses in the billions, mass layoffs and factory closures, model discontinuations, no clear future strategy, destroyed customer trust. Don't let a smiling salesperson with a 0% financing offer convince you otherwise. All right, real talk moment. Which brand on this list shocked you the most? Did you have any idea Nissan was this close to bankruptcy? Or that Jaguar lost 97% of their sales in 1 year? Drop a comment right now. I read every single one and I genuinely want to know your thoughts. And listen, if this video just saved you from making a $30,000 mistake, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, because I do this every single week. Exposing industry secrets, corporate disasters, and stuff companies are desperately trying to hide from you. No BS, no corporate sponsors, just the raw truth. My next video drops in 3 days, and I'm flipping the script completely. Instead of brands collapsing, I'm breaking down the only car brands actually worth buying in 2026, the ones that'll still be here in 2030, the ones that won't screw you over. Thanks for trusting me with few minutes of your life. I don't take that lightly. Stay smart out there. Question everything. Do your research. And remember, just because a dealer is smiling and offering you a great deal doesn't mean you should be signing anything. Your financial future matters more than their commission check. See you in the next one.